Oh, yeah. Just give me a sec. Just making sure the stream works properly. It should do. It's never not broken before. And there we go. Okay, good. Okay. I've seen a lot of people just using this stuff here. Just basically getting rid of it. There's no point holding a massive bastion cells. Seems to be the argument, and I understand that. It's like, why are you keeping it? What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? So let's actually focus on making shit we need to use. So these requires 3 of these and 1 of those. Does that mean I can make 1 of these? Did I use them all? I did use them all, of course. Refiner. Make 10. God, I've got a lot of oil. And then explosives. Okay, sweet. Got 4 of those now. Gun and bench. I don't have nearly enough gun stuff, I'm realizing. So I need to go on a mission to find some shit. So, what's the plan here? This, that. I might, I'm thinking about this, go to the Buried City Town Hall again and see whether or not I can, that's interesting. Ah, that's why. Okay, I see why. Right. And see whether or not it's open. And if it is, try and take on a, it is actually cheap when you think about it. They're not hard to make. Try and take on the, Bombardier. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, I'm for that. Right. Play. Ooh. On second thought. You know what? No. Let's stick to the plan. Hatch in case I have to use it. If I keep it in there, I shouldn't lose the hatch key, right? I mean, I'm not wrong when I say that, am I? Right, okay, screw it. We're not doing that. Buried City. Confirm. Okay, confirm. Caden Bounds. Hi, how are you? Oh, caps lock's on. How you doing there, chat? Caden Bounds. Is that how you pronounce your name? Caden? I'm guessing Caden. Right, Buried City. We're going to go to the town hall, see if, because I want to see if I can find some more blueprints, because there's a ton of stuff I don't actually have. And then afterwards, if I have time, I'm going to run straight there, get in, grab. If I see the Bombardier, I'll take that out and get the core from that. And if I have time afterwards, I'm going to go and see if we can take on the Queen with the, what the hell do you call it now? Harvester. Right, where the hell am I? God, how far away? Okay, it's not too far.
Let's go to the town hall.
Okay, let's go.
This is Lance calling.
Hey, Lance.
Can't find a spare ESR analyzer in any of the pharmacies, okay? I have a pre-painted reveal banner. That depends on it.
Because I gotta be honest, the problem with taking out either the matriarch or the queen, and those are different things, is the fact that, like, it's very hard to get loot from. Whereas if you go in individually on these ones, it's a bit easier to get the loot that you need. So that's my thought process, and I'm sticking to it. If you're watching, glad you're with me. What's this? Oh, breach. Okay. Nothing. Absolutely fickle. Landing right on my knees. Good stuff. Okay, there's the town hall. Let's get to the front of it and hope to God that the door hasn't been opened. I'm going nice and fucking slow. Okay, good. I hear something. I'm hoping that's a bombardier and not a goddamn leaper. There we go. This should be the... Yes, it is. Right, first and foremost, what is that? I'll look at it later on. Oh, someone's in here. Hey there! You okay in there? I've already raided it. Okay, cool, no worries. Fuck, I was late. Yeah, I was late. Screw it. Okay, what is that noise? Where's it coming from? Where is it? We're looking for the bombardier. I may have to come back in again, truth be told. I might just be late in general. Which sucks, but it also is what it is. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm too late. I'm 10 minutes late. Okay, fuck it. We're getting out. Is that open? Yeah, that's open. Bad timing. Everyone's getting more efficient, which means they go for the cool shit super quick. Which means it's harder to get access to it yourself. Nice. Always useful. Actually, really useful. Where is it? Where is it? Nice. Explosives. For every 3 of these and a bit of oil, you can make yourself a wolf pack. It's fucking awesome. Okay, switch to a rapid fire gun, because if we're going against people... Okay, we'll jump out, we'll come back in again, and hopefully, we'll be okay. Thank you. I'm not gonna shoot, bro.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Okay, didn't get anything, but it's okay. Let's just go straight back in. I want to get there early and close enough to the town hall that I can actually get in there and get the shit I need. Matriarch's going to be over in half an hour. I could just go in there. It is a lot of fun. No, I want to progress. Come on, let's progress with this. Right, come on, half an hour. Get me in there at like 28, 29. And let there be a goddamn bombardier and not a leaper. I'll be honest. When I first started playing this, I much preferred the team element of it. But as you start going up in levels and you get access to cooler shit, it's nicer to go in solo because it tends to be a little not quieter, but like you can get more stuff done. And then when you're good to when you're good to go, what do we have here? Nice. And oil. Nope. Okay. What's this? Water pump. More oil. Thank you. Okay, where are we? We're close. It's there.
Go to the town hall.
And we're 29. Okay, we should have plenty of time here. It's broad daylight though, so let's be careful. Snitch. Let's get to the other side of this building. There's another raider. I can hear one. It's fucking close. Motherfucker. Where are you? Is it forward? It's forward. It's forward. Where's it gone? There. Problem solved. Okay. This way. Shit's going down. Fuck you. Fuck you. Where is it? There it. Alright, it's flying around out there somewhere. Okay, I can hear it. Where is it? Is it above me? Is it walking around up here? Is that what it is? I think it is. Well, only one way to find out. Let's go check, huh? There. Suppose this. Thank you. It's there. It's literally one more up. Well, you know what? Ah, it's the one I want to. Get underneath here. Hopefully. And there we go.
I think they already killed it. Hello.
Hey there, how are you?
Leaper out up there? Yeah, we were waiting.
So we've got 3 of those now. Four. Ah, okay, I'll swap that for that. But no, that's stupid. Don't swap that for that. Where the fuck did I put the key? Did I just drop it on the ground? Where did I put the goddamn key? There it... Motherfucker. Swap that and swap... No, keep that there now. Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna head back because I have what I need to finish off hang on, constructing that thing I need to do for my what should I call it now? I ramble a lot. Oil. Where is it? It's down there. Six of these. Sweet. Amazing. How many do you need? 2. Two, 3, 5. Nice. So that goes into those. I don't think I need that for anything anymore.
Community world's been defaced again. So, please, reserve rebellion for things that deserve it.
Okay, we're going back out again. All good. Let's go. Right, where are we?
Let's go to the town hall.
Half a kilometer. Oh, right, okay. Alright, let's give it a wide berth. By that I mean let's not go anywhere near it. Okay, we should be close. Should be. Where am I? Oh, wait, where am I? I'm the back end of it, or I'm behind it? God damn it, right. That's a beautiful sun, though. Graphics in this game are stunning. I've been playing it for that long, I kind of... Oh, shit. Just keep ignoring me. Just keep ignoring me. Closed. Open up. Close the door. Okay, now. Book. Book. Okay, I'm trying to find a goddamn gun pack. There's one. Don't know if I have that or not. I probably already do. You know, given the fact this is supposed to be a purple key, it never ceases to disappoint me just how little crap you actually get in here. When I say crap, I mean like useful stuff. Where's the big gun supposed to be? It's supposed to be like a blueprint for some cool shit. But no. Not in here. In here we get wires. Alright, okay, nothing else in this room. Hello? What? Why do people announce themselves like creeps? Like, Fireworks box. Couldn't care less. Basically, nothing of any value of any kind. Oh, actually, one flight of stairs left to go. If I get there and whatever that big thing has already been opened, I'm going to be disappointed, to say the least.
Hey,
I'm sorry, say that again, what?
is there that have an key?
I have no idea, bro. You have to work on your mic. It's really bad. Right, so there is no big gun here. Did he just get in through there? Oh. Right, screw it. We're getting out of here. One last quick search and then we're going. So disappointed. It really is disappointing. I was expecting at least a better blueprint. At least a better blueprint. No. We got what, $60,000 worth of stuff? And half that was mine anyway? Disappointing. Well, let's swap that for that. A little tip for you. If you're going to go into a special area, close the door behind you so people can't see that you're in there. Alright, we're leaving.
Head home at the Western Station.
Well, I won't say it was a complete waste of time, but it was a bit of a waste of time. What's up? Fucker! You absolute piece of shit. Fuck! No, 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 no! Rub it out, rub it out. Out. I am not dying of burns this fucking close to getting out of here. You out of your goddamn mind? What did I actually get? I got a gun, didn't I? What was this? Volcano 2. Goes bullets, semi-automatic shotgun ammo. Arm penetration weak. Okay, is that any good then? Maybe I'll use it as well as that, but I've got a million of those. Okay, we're out. Let's make some more wolf packs, and let's go see if we can still get to the harvester. Okay. Continue, continue, continue. Right. Yeah, disappointed with that. I was expecting more from the town hall, truth be told. That's... This is where we start getting full of shite. Okay, so I need to sell some shit, so... Sell. Let's keep that, I suppose. Sell that. Actually, recycle that down to plastic and parts. Gonna keep all of that. That, sell. Actually, recycle. Okay, good. We get that for that. Tempest. I need to make more space here, don't I? What am I going to get rid of? I can make these myself now. Right? If I go to the high-end refiner, what do I need to make them? Oh! Well, no worries then. I've got a... Okay, no worries at all. I'm going to sell those. Recycle to what? Those and those. Okay. Yeah, I don't need them. Actually, no, I might need them. I'll sell one. I'll sell one. Those recycle down plastic parts. Yeah. I've never used one of those in my life, but you never know. Okay, one more thing I need to sell. One more. Ventor is a good one. Oh. Recycle? No, I've got tons of that shit. Sell. Okay, good. Batteries. Gunsmith. Power cells plus batteries. Can't you do something else with batteries, though? I'm sure you can.
Hot tea at the end of the line. Lukewarm caps.
Right. Only 1 minute left, huh? Forget it. Okay. Repair. That there. Let's make some more of those. Cool. Bobcat. Yeah, I'm gonna waste my time with it. Actually, weapon mods. Can I now make 5 duct tape and 2 mods? Why is duct tape so hard to come by?
Raider.
Raider, that's me.
They say overwatering is worse than underwatering.
Do they? Okay. Oh, back again in 30 seconds? Alright, okay. Well, in that case, let's leave it. Yeah. I think good to go. Good to go. Yeah, let's grind Slim on this for a bit. Get some more stuff. And then, hopefully, either we'll have the harvester or the matriarch, and we can go back in there and do what we have to do. Okay, let's go.
Go to the loading bay.
I don't understand why people flash their lights at you. I don't get it. 22 minutes. It might have already been destroyed. I'm not hearing it. Yeah, I think it's already been blown up. Yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, there it is. There's its carcass. Spring. Then a what, sorry? Do I need a what stock? Uh-huh. The side door was open, by the way.
My bad.
I can hear it. Where is it?
Let's head home at the loading bay metro.
Let's just get out of here. Okay, it's already been called. Cool.
Is this your teammate?
No, no, I'm by myself. Returning to Speranza. Okay, not terrible. Right, that and that. Okay, let's make a couple more wolf packs. I'm obsessed with wolf packs. To be honest, I think given how easy they are to make and how cheap they are to make, and the fact that, like, they do a lot of damage is a bit kind of off to me. But, never mind. 5. Great explosives. Okay, good. Explosives. There we go. 5, 6. That's it? Only got 6. Okay, cool.
Community board updated. Whether it's love, work, or warnings, check it.
Gotta sell some of this crap. Sell. Hey, put that away. God damn it. Recycle those. Put that in there, that in there, that in there. Keep that. Now if I then go to repair again. We have one more. Explosives there. Sweet, got 7. Okay, good. Ba 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 ba. Oh. If I go to the Blue City, I could probably blow some shit up, right? I mean, why the hell not? Let's give it a go. But what am I blowing it up for? That's the question. Just for the fun of it? Extended Light Mag 2. Can I upgrade these things? Hmm. I'm gonna wait for that one. Okay, I'm back in, I guess.
Let's go to the loading bay.
That's terrible.
Appreciate it.
What's that, sorry? That was a colossal waste. Well, what the hell? You're playing golf, huh? 4. It's gonna be this side. $84,000. Yeah, we're gonna go. We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Nice.
It's go time.
These are easy to get hold of.
Power grid's been acting up all day. Don't hold your breath for a fix anytime soon.
We've got 8.
Reminder. Books well scribbled but do not open are to remain unopened. Lessons have been learned.
Oh. Is anyone a no playing? Not that many. It's not like I don't know what's going to happen though. I'm not going in there for any particular reason. That's the only thing. Oh. Fuck it. I mean, I know what I'm getting. Hey. You know what I'm going to do, actually? Let's listen to something.
Chaos created by the Trump presidency is felt first and foremost.
What can we watch here?
Canadians are right to be worried about our sovereignty, about our future. But I think we sometimes, and here's my optimist, the optimist in me, I think we sometimes readily assume that Donald Trump and the United States are the same thing. And while I'm not a sort of wide-eyed optimist about this, I do think that we all know personally through our business or family or through education, our American friends and neighbors. And I think we should retain a degree of faith in them, that as bad as this era is, it may not be the future for the United States. There may be an opportunity for change, because unlike China, Xi Jinping doesn't face midterms, Donald Trump will. And there is the possibility, I don't think we can bet everything on that, but there's a possibility that we'll see change. What excited me at the start of the Carney era last year was his talk about doing the kind of things that the Trump presidency reminded us we should have been doing all along, about being more thoughtful in terms of our defense and the defense of our sovereignty, about opening up the Canadian economy and getting rid of ridiculous barriers to trade that have hampered us, to be engaged in building the kind of infrastructure that can take our products to the world, and
Look,
actually becoming a true middle power in a very exciting way. And I thought,
wait, is that a battery?
we might be on the verge of, beginning
Two
that
batteries.
process. And as I look back after a year, we've accomplished a few things, but not many. And what I worry is that instead of doing that, and it would be difficult to do, it would take courage, it would probably cost us financially to get there. But instead of doing that, we settled for a trip to China and assumed that we can sort of balance between two powers, and in fact are now ready to talk about a new world order, whatever that means. We sort of haven't done our homework. You should be able to show your homework before you go to China. The most serious lapse in the lead up to the Prime Minister's trip to China is the complete slow walking and silencing of concerns about foreign interference. Had we even done that, had we even taken steps to say that Canada takes this seriously, will push back, will not tolerate foreign interference, delivered a number of ways, including through China's consulates and through its embassy, through its diplomatic connections, through its interference with the Canadian diaspora, whom it harasses, and through now we're seeing signs of intimidation of Canadian members of Parliament. If we'd even gone that far, I might have viewed the visit differently. But I think this is a lazy approach to finding our way through the difficulties that we face, and we will come to regret his talk of a new world order. I think even the Chinese were surprised when he said that.
I want you to know something. This message was not created using generative AI, but I dare you to not be familiar with the concept, hurly-burlyites. It's everywhere. Creating content, music, code, ad scripts, voiceovers, and probably that video you just watched on social media. No surprise then that this podcast presenting sponsor offers its own Gen AI product. Fuel IX is TELUS's enterprise-grade, award-winning AI products that can be used in English and French Canada. And unlike
Hey there.
widely used public Gen AI platforms like ChatGPT, Fuel IX is fully customizable. So companies can come to Fuel IX with specific requirements and build a custom platform for their coworkers with custom security requirements, model restrictions, the ability to encrypt chat histories, privacy features to keep data secure, and options for data storage so that it remains within Canadian borders.
Hey, careful, there's a shredder right there.
Customization reaches right down to Fuel IX's Copilot engine, a conversational AI assistant that helps users with everyday tasks like knowledge searches, summarization, copywriting, and image generation, as well as document and data analysis. The difference here is that businesses can create their own Copilot for any task, so they can define the Copilot's specific role, tone, approach, and set any other parameters as needed. All is built with trust and privacy. Next week, more on TELUS's Fuel and me, the real David Hurley. As far as I can tell, I'm not afraid of that. I'm working on it though.
Easy peasy.
I really want to dive into the Canadian thing, but I want to spend a little bit more time on the U.S. And I might say, in prelude to the question, Jennifer, that it feels like it's the United States that is declaring a new world order.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not use those terms, but they are. I mean, that national security document that I read, that was a vision for a very different type of world.
Yeah, I don't know why Canadians are so like surprised with what Carney said. I was saying he's not wrong. It's like
You know, to pick up on what
the
David was saying,
United States is saying they want a new world order,
is try to imagine
and they're
what it
going
is.
to reform it and reshape
And I
it
can
using
imagine
tariffs and
a
threats,
scenario
including the annexation of other people's
he's
lands.
replaced by the status quo ante.
So
I can imagine a situation where Trump is gone after the next election, but that a lot of what he brought doesn't leave. A lot of the norms he broke are not replaced. A lot of the attitudes continue to be reflected in public policy because they have some roots in public opinion, etc. Or frankly, I can imagine a future in which Donald Trump doesn't leave office, in which MAGA doesn't leave office, in which democracy in the United States is broken. What bet would you make, Jennifer?
Yeah, I certainly don't see your first bet as being very likely. I don't think Trump as an aberration is very likely. It particularly in terms of the U.S. stance towards the wider world. And I think, you know, David's absolutely right. David M. is absolutely right that, you know, the United States is so much bigger than Donald Trump. And we even see it with attitudes of some kind of breakaway Republicans. But there is a shift, and there is, in terms of a longstanding debate that has happened in the United States historically between being isolationist and internationalist, right? That has been the big swing, right? And what Donald Trump is doing is saying it's neither of those poles. And I actually think there is a portion of the US public that is actually quite isolationist. But Donald Trump is saying, I'm not isolating America from the world. I'm engaging, but I'm engaging on our terms.
is the Bastion dead?
To enhance the power and wealth of the United States, to use our leverage.
All right, fair enough.
Our goals, America first, and which means that the way he is engaging is selective, it's coercive, and it's very unsettling from the perspective of trying to keep more traditional institutions and alliances actually working. So I don't think your first bet is very likely.
Shimon.
I do worry about your third bet. That MAGA survives, that we have a J.D. Vance presidency. I think that national security strategy is very infused with J.D. Vance's view of the world. It is very striking to me that it is very much underpinned by an economic logic, but also takes a very strange view of enemies and friends, right? So while if you talk to the broader national security establishment in the United States, they will tell you, many of them will tell you, that the primary goal of the U.S. is to manage its relationship with China to avoid a great power war between the U.S. and China, and that the best way to prevent it, because its effects would be so profound, is to deter, is to build up incredible strength to send signals that would make that war, unlikely. But Trump isn't really, and MAGA, when you read the national security strategy, you almost feel like Europe is the enemy. There's very little mention, actually, there's mention of China, but China and Russia are very second order mentions in that strategy, which I think is very interesting. So it's very ideological. So it's sometimes hard to see the direction that MAGA would go, but I do worry about the erosion of democracy. I think there's more a middle path, because we do see Americans fighting back. We see American institutions fighting back. I think it will be a changed democracy, but I also think the world is moving on. Even if we were to get a Democratic administration, a different U.S., I think the world has moved on, and there will not be a restoration of U.S. leadership
Head
in
home
the
at the
same
loading
way.
bay
There's a
metro.
number of states that do not want to be as vulnerable ever again, but who are also forging their own futures in their own way. And so I don't think we will come back to what we have seen before.
Okay. David, what's your sense of where the U.S. is going?
Well, I agree with Jennifer that I don't think the U.S. will come back. We can get back what we've lost, and that there's a real cost to that, and there are some implications that flow from it. But I also think, and I had this
Safe travels, people. Safe travels.
MAGA crisis for Canada deepened, that we all had an inkling of this before. There were times when we did think, well, we have a pretty easy ride here. We have the United States that is the guarantor of our defense. We have a cushy economic relationship. We don't have to work that hard. We can just sell stuff over the border. And isn't that great? Instead of preparing ourselves for the possibility that it would seem unthinkable.
Peering out through the spidery lattice work of ice on your front window and contemplate month feast or quarantine. Not that in
Blah, blah, blah.
Here, but for themselves. Currently, no great power has ever been as benevolent toward a neighboring country as the United States was toward us.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look back at the post-war order, and as Jennifer's reminded us, it took some doing, and as benevolent as the United States can be, it's always a benevolence that serves its own purpose. When I worked in, you mentioned that I was in the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Group, APEC. The United States was a linchpin in APEC, and they did very practical work in building trade flows, eliminating barriers for trade, but it also served an American agenda. So American diplomats ensured that those institutions served an American agenda. So we all benefited. It's not as if the idea that the United States was getting ripped off by the international system, in the last 10, 20, or 30 years is not true. But that was no excuse for Canada to be as passive as we have been. And we should have taken the emergence of Trump in 2016, 2015, 2016 as a sign that things are changing. We need to think about it. And we didn't do that. So it's not too late to do that. And in fact, some of the things that we should do to become more independent of the United States now apply to China. But the notion that China offers us any more than some relief on trade issues is a fallacy. Or that China doesn't intend to make of Canada what it is made of some of the countries that lie closer to China in Asia is also a fallacy that we must always be on our guard against. At the end of the day, China's aim, for example, I believe for the Canadian automotive sector, is to eliminate it and replace it with a Chinese automotive sector. If we follow China's behavior in markets around the world, that's how it operates. So it can be of some limited benefit to us, but it's not the answer. And I think, in addition to being kind of passive and unwilling to think carefully about the relationship with the United States, we're assuming now that this is a problem we can get out of relatively easily. That as scary as it sounded at the start, it's not really going to cost us anything because we can just sort of shift from dependence on the United States to dependence on China. And that, if people think that way, I'd say shame on us.
Well, I presume we're going to be poorer for a period of time.
We are going to be poorer for a period of time, and China alone can't save us. But that's why we should have been doing the business of genuinely diversifying trade last year, and doing the business also of defending Canada against foreign interference last year, so that we arrive in China less beholden to the Chinese, more confident, and able to strike a better deal. So I think there is a way forward for us. It's not too late, but it's getting late.
Hey, Jen?
So I just want to not challenge, but sort of flesh out a little bit of what David M. has said. I agree very much with the premise that as a middle power with the geography we have and the nature of our economy and alliances, that as we strike out now to try to pursue our interests, We have to do our homework, be very prepared, and lay the groundwork. You know, it's often said right now that we're in a transactional world, right? Like you do transactions and that's how. I don't think middle powers can very effectively do transactions. You know, we can do transactions with some. Transactions are the luxury of the super powerful. We need to think about being very clear-eyed about our relations with great powers. But, you know, something that I have been thinking about a lot is we also need to be investing in friendships in other parts of the world that, as you say, help to lay the groundwork for true diversification. That takes time, that takes work, it's multidimensional.
Can you name a country just so I can have a for instance? What's a country?
If we think about our own hemisphere, thinking about, and the visit to Mexico talked about this. I mean, after how many years of being part of NAFTA? Francois Philippe Champagne says, you know, now we're going to start to build a relationship. I think it's a bit late, right? But I'm not just thinking about Mexico. I'm thinking about key players if we think about Asia.
Oh, wow, we're really late in. Real late in.
Whether we think about other parts of the hemisphere where we have shared democratic values, but also other countries who are living in this new Monroe Doctrine era. So I want to make that point, but I do want to say that I don't think it has been all about China for the government, although that's how it might appear. We had the trip to India. We have an Asia-Pacific strategy that is, for example, focused on Indonesia with a new trade envoy in Indonesia. We had the trip to the Middle East. So there is
not to mention, you know, some people think Carney's been virtually living in Europe.
Yeah, well, Europe, absolutely.
Right.
So I think it's a broader picture, but David M. is right that, you know, the China visit has been the big piece. I mean, they came away with a joint statement. So, but he is absolutely right.
But also provocative to the United States, right?
Yes,
unlike those
indeed.
other things, very provocative to the United States.
Yeah, and in some ways I was surprised with Trump's initial reaction. Let's see how long that lasts. And he said, well, I think this is fine. This is what I would, you know, expect them to do. And I would note something really interesting that also happened in the last couple of days, that Trump asked our prime minister to be a member of this board of peace for the reconstruction of Gaza. And now the composition of that board is quite something, but that tells you something about the President of the United States' view of our prime minister, right? That there is
He respects him, is my sense. Yeah.
Exactly. This is not going to be an easy ask, but that happened in the same news cycle as the trip to China and the reaction to it. So, but this is a time, you know, the budget has been a lot about trade, a lot about defense. It's also a time for diplomacy, and good diplomacy, not to use David M.'s word, lazy diplomacy, laying groundwork, thinking of the various ways you can build ties with countries over time.
So, David,
can I just, there's just one thing I wanted, a worry I wanted to share, and that is, I think we've rarely been in the policy business, and we've been out of it for the last 8 years or so. We're going to get out. And by that I mean, under the Justin Trudeau rules, we adopted what he called a feminist policy. There's no objection to feminism to an extent, but that shouldn't be the main objective of Canadian foreign policy. Canadian foreign policy exists to protect our sovereignty, ensure our prosperity, security of the Canadian state, promote our interests, promote our values, but a bunch of other things too. And what that translated, I was just down at the UN and I was talking to a number of diplomats from Africa, was that the way the feminist foreign policy looked at Africa was not through discussion.
Well done, guys. Bravo.
We have a feminist foreign policy, and here's how that's going to shape things like, for example, our assistance. It's here's what we're going to get from Canada. And this,
There's still a screamer out there, so careful.
they went so far as to say that sometimes Canadian diplomats they were talking to ideologues. They felt that they hadn't been listened to. So we haven't been doing a lot of listening lately, and I think that's coming back to us. And what we need is a real policy that doesn't can't cover the world, but can cover places that are important to us, and can see the world the way we see it to a certain extent. And I don't see us doing that. There's also a liberal fixation with China that, I mean, when I saw it, I'm glad you mentioned how the Prime Minister intoned New World Order, because I was shaken by that. But then, and I don't want to read too much into this, Melanie Jolie turns to the
No, I'm good, thanks.
little smirk like, gotcha. You know, here we are. It's what we wanted.
And people noted that Scott Moe looked like he had indigestion.
So I think we're getting the sort of liberal dream of that close relationship with China that we sort of shut down when the interference crisis started.
Ontario's need for clean, dependable energy is growing, and meeting that demand calls for bold action. The Bruce C project would add up to 4,800 megawatts to its existing site, making Bruce Power the largest nuclear generator in the world, with a total capacity of 12,000 megawatts. But this isn't just about energy security. It's about jobs, innovation, and prosperity. The project is expected to create and support about 20,000 jobs annually during design and construction, and thousands more for decades, contributing billions to Canada's economy. Learn how Bruce Power is building a stronger, cleaner future at brucepower.com. So I want to stop you, and I want to challenge you right now, David, because I know that you're on this, and I was disappointed to see on social media that this was your point of view, not because I want you to have a different, not because I want you to have a point of view other than what your point of view is, but because you reacted this way. Because I thought, you know, we've been on the pod before, thank you very much, and I know that your perspective is that for a long time, probably culminating in Justin Trudeau, but even going back to the 80s and the Chrétien and Martin governments and all that stuff, that there was a la attitude in Canada about China. And that, you know, the more integrated we were with China, the better it was going to be, because they were going to become Western and liberal and democratic, and we were going to change the world through all this. And so there was a complete naivete about China. I did not sense that from this deal. Carney outlined before he went some guardrails for the relationship, what he saw it could be and what it thought it couldn't be. And he seems like he went there and he cut an economic trade transaction. And I mean, I am particularly interested in a phrase of his that it seems to me is going around the world the last couple of days, which is, we take the world as we find it, not as we wish it to be. So unless you're saying that the government shouldn't be interacting with China at all, what would you have done
Head home
different?
at the loading bay metro.
Well, so first of all, the fact that we have, and I did some work on recently some media stuff on the Foreign Interference Registry, which is sort of taking shape, but we don't have a commissioner yet, et cetera, et cetera. And I look back at what's happened just in the last 3 years, when the Globe and Global and others began talking about Chinese interference. And you see this thing growing, banner headlines, revelations, and then it kind of, we get into the special rapporteur, David Johnston, and then we get into the Hogue inquiry.
Damn it, they went without me.
It's handed over to the bureaucracy, and it kind of glides from sort of a public awareness. So the
But when you
registry,
say
as it is just now-
revelations, weren't they nothing burgers mostly?
No,
ultimately?
they were not nothing burgers. There were some people who said things beyond what happened. But the fact was, and you know, we have a diaspora
terrible.
politics problem. We have Chinese officials like consuls general who exert more influence, I would say, in certain parts of Canada than Canadian officials do. We have ceded parts of our government to China. Even the Hogue inquiry said, yes, some ridings were decided due to Chinese influence, but it didn't turn the election. So, you know, what are we worried about? And I was kind of appalled by the lack of outrage. Then I see the description of a registry that doesn't yet have a director, and where fines will go. And this maybe, I don't know.
It's a shock to all of us that an American president can even get ideas like this. To show support for the Greenlandish people and the kingdom, and to show that even if we are Danish and live in Denmark, we feel a lot of solidarity with and are really angry about the whole situation.
It's a very bad feeling. You have one guy who wants to take over our country. It's our country. It's a place where we were raised and born. People lived in Greenland. Right now, children, they don't sleep at nights. People don't sleep at nights. Our family, our friends, everybody is anxious in Greenland right now. We are not, as one of the politicians said, we are not numbers. We are people. And we are a part of NATO. We are a part of Denmark. Denmark, the Kingdom of Denmark, has always supported the United States when they have been in problem. And right now, they are saying thank you to us in this way.
There are no pressing security threats to Greenland, but we share real concern about Arctic security going forward. As the climate changes, as the sea ice retreats, as shipping routes change, there are legitimate reasons for us to explore ways to invest better in Arctic security broadly, both in the American Arctic and in our NATO partners and allies. It was made very clear to us, as it has been repeatedly over the years, that if the United States seeks to invest in partnership respectfully with the people of Greenland in accessing possibly newly available critical minerals or rare earths, that would be welcome, and that in partnership with the Kingdom of Denmark, if we wish to increase our investments in Arctic security, that would be welcome. But the challenge here is for that to be done in a way that is deeply respectful of Danish sovereignty and of our NATO alliance. One of the things that's been made clear to us is that the people of Denmark are very anxious, are quite concerned, and the people of Greenland even more so, and that this current tone and tempo of statements about acquisition is not constructive. Our very positive relationships have dimmed a bit, and I hope that the people of the Kingdom of Denmark do not abandon their faith in the American people, in our fundamental goodness, in our respect for Denmark and for NATO and for all we've done together.
I'm Roland Oliphant, and this is Battle Lines. It's Friday, the 16th of January, 2026, and what a start to the year it's been with Belarus. And how did you come to be running RUSI?
Well, I've had the pleasure of running RUSI for about a year now, and I'm American. The accent gives me away every time. I came most recently from NATO, where I was working in the U.S. delegation.
Un appello per un'Europa unita.
When I find something to watch, goddammit.
I don't know why they said this, but the fines will go, there are some very high fines, but There could be fines at $50, which I liken to dinner and a movie with my wife, and that would be dinner at Swiss Chalet. I mean, a $50 fine for foreign interference. What happened immediately before the
All you can eat shrimp, David. All you can eat shrimp.
It would be quarter chicken, not half chicken. Before the Prime Minister got to China, what was the last sort of notable thing that happened? The two Liberal MPs who were on a visit to Taiwan, and I used to benefit from those MP visits when I ran the unofficial Canadian office in Taiwan, because it allowed us to connect with the many...
They should go here, try something different.
...have with Taiwan in terms of trade, in terms of culture, in terms of indigenous affairs and indigenous relations, education. He pulled them out. And why were they going to Taiwan just before the Prime Minister was going to China? I don't know. The trip came together at the last moment, but it was done in the most clumsy way possible, and it signaled to the Chinese everything they needed to hear about where Mark Carney's head was at. I'm going to do anything for a deal. I'll throw the Taiwanese over the boat. This is the new way, and I'm this kind of Prime Minister who lives.
I'm not sure that's true, but
Let's
fair
now
enough.
bring in CTV News political commentator and former NDP leader Tom Mulcair. Good to see you, Tom.
Good to be with you, Renee.
So this is the first trip by a sitting prime minister in Canada to visit Qatar. How significant is that?
Very important because, of course, as we understand, these Gulf states are cash rich. And I like the way Anil
Oh shit! Right in the height, in the heat. God damn it!
their money won't disappear, and you can have an honest court system and the rule of law and so forth. So that's one of the advantages of being a democracy. Now, not all the countries that we work with or trade with are democracies. We just got a good taste of that with the visit to China. But the overall approach here that Carney has been taking for the past 10 months or so since he became Prime Minister is essentially, we've got to find new partners, we've got to make deals around the world, we've got to sell Canada's best assets, and that includes selling us as a safe place to live.
Carney came back from China thinking would happen as quickly as it did. Does that tell you that there could be some sort of deal coming in Qatar?
Absolutely. I mean, they have massive sovereign wealth funds. And, there are things that we're looking to build here. That's the whole pitch of the Carney era. He's saying, look, we're going to get back to building huge projects like we used to be able to in order to build the wealth for the future. So I think, yes, that there could very well be that. He does the same thing, though, when he goes to London, which is, of course, one of the world's most important financial capitals. You've got to be able to talk to those markets. And I would dare say, Renee, that one of the advantages of Mark Carney is that he's Mark Carney. When he walks into a room, he doesn't have to know the color of his socks. Everybody knows this guy. Everybody knows him from when he was, of course, governor of the Bank of Canada, but they really know him from when he was the governor of the Bank of England, and he helped do everything to keep that country afloat as they went through the absolute unpredictable chaos of Brexit, leaving the European Union. So, yeah, Carney is one of Canada's great natural resources right now, and of course, he's going to be off to Davos, Switzerland, and I love the fact that he's going to absolutely, visor walking into the room, going to be giving some important talks there. And why is that important? Well, because some very right-wing conservatives have come up with a conspiracy theory about the
Little tip: keep the door closed.
nation and who's in charge. And it's a bit wacky, but Carney is, of course, very unashamed and unabashed about walking into those rooms, knowing that he's got good contacts with everybody in those rooms, because that's what's actually going to help Canada, not some very, as they went through the absolute unpredictable chaos of Brexit, leaving the European Union. So, yeah, Carney is...
Thanks, Raider!
No worries.
And of course, he's going to be off to Davos, Switzerland, and I love the fact that he's going there absolutely, visor up, walking into the room, going to be giving some important talks there. And why is that important? Well, because some very right-wing conservatives have come up with a conspiracy theory about the World Economic Forum, world domination, and who's in charge. And it's a bit wacky, but Carney is, of course, very unashamed and unabashed about walking into those rooms, knowing that he's got good contacts with everybody in those rooms, because that's what's actually going to help Canada, not some fake conspiracy theory about the World Economic Forum. Well, I think that what he's doing
Shoot the legs. Nice. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Hey there to you too.
Don't shoot. Hey, don't shoot.
Head home at the loading bay metro.
One of the bright stars of our immigration policy, and so and poll after poll showed that nothing was sticking. Nothing. You're just trying to blame the federal government for everything, and you can blame the But also what was interesting is that
Why do they do that? Flush a light at you.
and for a person that is so obsessed with his relationship with Quebecers, his personal relationship, there's a lot of narcissism there.
Hey, don't shoot.
And so
Don't shoot.
those numbers in favor of much further than anything that was so just even the worst days of Jean Charest.
Hey, don't shoot.
Episodes which we've all known, and we've seen all the lists and everything over the past few days. But François Legault, and he was in opposition when I was minister, of course, but he was the classic grievance politician. It was about blame. It was always about blaming us, the Couillard government, blaming the federal government, blaming the Anglos, blaming immigrants. It was always, and that brought him up to power. And also because both the Liberals and the PQ were in shambles when you look at 2018. I mean, these were two parties that were in deep decline. And so he got power. First thing he does, he gets rid of the $5 billion surplus, one of the bright spots of the government I was part of. We left, finances there. He gets rid of that, and then it's higher.
To your point about that, this is a guy who was business. This was his forte.
It was.
And then, he completely neglected that aspect of everything when
he came up, grievance saying, government is too big.
Right.
What did he do? Exploded government.
Right.
What did he say? He said we're a government of accountants.
Bringing in Christian Dubé, Pierre Fitzgibbon, basically Quebec Inc. and we're gonna take Quebec to the next level economically. And he had taken the mantle away from the Liberals, and that was. And so the pandemic comes, and okay, he there's some things you can criticize, others not. We're not going to do this
this morning, but he becomes kind of like Papa Legault, right? You know, Mono Francois, and his popularity explodes, and he's able to carry that into the 2022 election. And again, the PQ still was the shadow of what it is today. The Liberals were nowhere, so he gets a super majority, 41% of the vote, and he sticks to the old guns. You know, he's still talking identity, and he doesn't realize that Quebecers are elsewhere, because poll after poll since 2022, you look at all the polling, the identity issues, you know, language, immigration, all of that. When you look at the polls, even in the deepest reach francophone regions of Quebec, this is not a top 5 issue. Far from it. And as we see, as inflation creeps up, as the economy slows down, he's completely disconnected with what Quebecers are feeling.
Right.
Have you ever heard really François Legault talk about affordability, about inflation, about the grocery bill, about the rent, about the mortgage? Never.
But he did give us Northvolt, didn't he?
Well, but that's where we can go. We can talk about his obsessions and his different
But
failures.
let me go back
Absolutely.
to what you said, though. If I think about, we started this by saying it was not that he resigned, but when he chose to quit. Just a couple of weeks before that, he came, had a press conference, said, I took my walk in the snow, right?
Absolutely.
Referencing Trudeau, and saying, I've decided to stay. And then you had really a complete about face. So between that and Monday,
well, I really think that what happened is that up until it was so painful. And I think what the everything that there was absolutely no way that he could pull himself out of this. And thinking about legacy, imagine, you know, going out. And remember, Justin Trudeau was the same.
Yeah.
Even after the Chrystia Freeland bombshell, he was sticking to his guns for several weeks.
But in that case, there was a revolt within. Do you think there was a revolt within here for
No, I
pressure to get?
I don't think it's a question of revolt. I mean, everybody that is in that caucus owes everything to him. And this is a party, I keep saying this, but it's true. He founded it in his living room. This is his child. And so
1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 8, 10, 11.
more about him looking. I always thought it was a battle between him and his ego, right? And especially with these politicians, it's very hard, especially when your lifelong obsession, dream is to become premier of Quebec. You know, he left the private sector for that reason. You know, the Lucien Bouchard coming in, leaving the PQ. His entire political career was about getting to the top. So leaving that once you have it is incredibly hard, incredibly difficult. And so I think the same energy that gets you to the top is the same. It's the energy that tells you there's still a way. There's still a way.
Okay.
There's a way.
So it's not about uphold or a couple of
I don't. I think it's just sitting with. Ultimately, in François Legault's universe, there's his wife, there's Martin Koskinen, his chief of staff, Brigitte Legault, his organizer, the two key people that have been with him from the start. And I think ultimately there was a very, very clear assessment of the situation, and going in, there was nothing left to play, no more cards.
Not even his vanity could keep it.
Well, I don't think so. Same thing again. Trudeau, Brian Mulroney, Jean Charest. I mean, at one point, you get to a place where there's just nothing left.
Do you think there was a point in him deciding when or if he was going to do this, where he said, and again, by virtue of the fact this is his baby, right? He started the party, was the party, where given the poll results, and I know politicians We know, of course,
They-
they all look at
they look obsessively
But
at
he thought to himself, okay, for the good of the party, if I don't step down, maybe the CAC is basically done as a party.
I wouldn't see. I get you saying calling it for the good of the party. I think he's thinking legacy. I think one of the politicians.
Oh shit! Nice.
Let's go to the loading bay.
Maurice Duplessis, and there are a lot of parallels here. Maurice Duplessis created the Union Nationale, and well, they didn't leave the same way. Maurice Duplessis died in office, obviously. But what happened after? The party was able to survive thanks mainly to a young, charismatic politician named Daniel Johnson. But after that, it foundered. After, again, unfortunately, Daniel Johnson's passing, the party was never able to recover from that. But there was something, they still won back power without Duplessis. And I think the biggest achievement for François Legault, because when you look, I think in terms of achievements. I don't think history will look kindly on we'll see in 10, 15 years. But just to say, I think ultimately for him, for his personal legacy, to see the party continue and to have a sense of maybe gaining power. So there you go.
David, Lucy coalition of people on the far right, people on, well, not far left, but a little bit left.
Well, far right, you're gonna get calls for that. You're
And-
gonna get emails.
Well, no, but I'm just saying right, left.
No, radical right.
Radical right.
You got radical right and center.
But my point is, who's his hand-picked successor? Does he go to SP? Girard, Clochette? I mean, they're so opposed diametrically to one another.
How little time it took to go from him resign.
Christopher Skeet.
Actually, apparently to the day, 25 years ago. Yeah. The irony is that because who brought François Legault into politics? Lucien Bouchard, and he resigns to the day, the same day that Lucien Bouchard had his surprise announcement in 2001. But the leadership race is not heating up; it is red hot.
That's okay. No worries.
In this types of situation, was the same type of situation that happened with
You take it out with a mine, I see.
intra-caucus race. There could be an outsider, some names being bandied around, but ultimately, this is a party that has at best 15,000 members. I think that's inflated. Just to give you an idea, when the Liberals did their leadership race, they had 21,000, 14,000 of which voted during the leadership convention. So 15,000 members is not a lot. And that doesn't mean all of those people will actually vote. And yes, you can sell cards, et cetera, but at the end of the day, who has the organizations? It's the MNAs. It's those MNAs that have the network in the regions that can bring actual people to vote.
83,000. Let's go.
This is going to be mainly a totally intra-caucus fight, and the calls have been going on since Wednesday. And what you're seeing emerge right now is there is that center-moderate wing, economic center-moderate wing, which Christine Fréchette used to be embodied clearly. And you have the hardline, hardcore identity politicians, and that's Jean right now. All the other names go down the list. Are damaged goods.
Well,
we've heard with the Gallant Commission
Right.
sending, because people don't, not everybody knows this, but when there's a report about to come out, and I remember when I was the minister, the Auditor General does that as well. When there's an inquiry, when you're mentioned in the final report, you get an advance notice, and you have the chance to respond prior of the publication.
And they tell you it's not going to be
They tell you what's in it.
Okay.
And what we now know is that both Geneviève Guilbeault and François Bonnardel have gotten notices of being not credible. that their testimony was not credible. So
scratch them from the
so
list.
those two are gone. All the other ones, Skeet and all the other guys, they're positioning themselves to basically maintain their status in the next administration. They want to stay ministers. It's like what Karina Gould tried to do. Nobody thought she was gonna even come close to winning.
I did,
but
I liked her. I thought she was.
No, there's nothing to do about
I liked some of her policies as well.
Really? I don't remember you picking Karina Gould.
Yeah, I interviewed her. I thought I liked her very, very much. I thought she spoke well. I thought she had some good ideas.
Put some buka in your teeth.
Almost halfway. I'm pretty impressed by that.
Who do you foresee? Like, I agree with the two groups.
Didn't you ask me? Or who asked me? Did you ask me?
No.
You asked me on Wednesday. Yeah, you asked me. You asked me on CJAD who I thought. I called it on Wednesday.
Wait.
On Wednesday at 2:00, I said, I think Kristen Fréchette, and that was before everything that has been.
I think that would be a smart.
She's got organizers.
Yes.
Yeah. She
Smarter
has
economically.
very close ties, and obviously, again, let's be logical here. François Legault, if we're saying this is his baby, he probably will not obviously come out and say, I want this person. But you got to think that, his close inner circle and himself, they're going to be watching this very closely, and he's going to want to have some sort of say on where this is going. But what I think right now, what Simon Jolin Barrette is trying to do here is he's polling as well about him. The problem is his favorables are not very high. Very high. But Legault called him himself the robot. In the first term, he called it the robot, and the robot was a bit broken. But he is liked within the caucus with that more radical right, identity nationalist part of the caucus.
But,
the other guys, I think they're just positioning themselves
What
to
about Eric
maintain their
Girard
status.
as a compromise?
I don't see it.
The Blue Podcast is brought to you in part by the State of Delicatessen, where we are. 75 years in business, the hub of Montreal's greatest smoked meat, plus Carnotzel, potato latkes, and the famous Snowden Deli party sandwiches. That's the State of Delicatessen. First thing that will come up is the money we spent bringing hockey equipment.
I forgot about that.
That's wasted.
I don't see Eric Girard having any type of chance. I mean, he's the guy.
Let's go to medical
that
research.
Has his name on the two largest deficits in Quebec history, which is right now. So, because other governments, even Donald Trump, is sending aid.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry.
To fight the inflation. We are here because absolutely no money.
So logic prevails. Emerges as the leader.
No worries.
Going to turn the race upside down.
I think it will definitely change the preconception that, save an unforeseen event, PSPP is just going to glide towards power on October 5th. Already, let's understand, already PSPP is slipping. His comments against against the culture sector, against the Radio Canada newsroom, against research, academia. Whole show, there was a net drop of those. If you take the Léger before the comments and the last Léger of the year, there's a drop. He dropped, and he has an interesting play with women. When you look at men women, it's in the low 20s, and it's the same type of gender gap that Pierre Poilievre has. When you look at his support, he has a huge gender gap with women of all generations. So PSPP already has I would say, a women problem. And because he comes off of arrogant and not very, how should I say, he has trouble connecting with Quebecers on issues. I've heard him on inflation. I've heard him on grocery bills. issues that are top 1, 2, and 3.
Well, he's hyper focused on a referendum.
But that's it. And so, if you have a Christine, first of all, a woman, smart, calm, not aggressive, not in that Poilievre, PSPP mold of, you know, very, very standoffish and very well. Very smart. She doesn't lose charisma, but at the same time, she Carnini. So she has. I'm not saying. And she has those nationalists that are still with the CAC. Remember, she has the people influence. She loved the people. She was on Tuesdays. And she left because of the Turtle Valley. Right. And so she has economic chops. So she could do something. But she could definitely hurt the people. But still, imagine.
Look how Carney did it for the
Well, you mean being prepared to sit there for 4 years?
Imagine, let's say, look what PSPP did. He stayed 3 seats, and now he's at the doors of power. What I'm saying is that when PSPP took over the leadership...
Did you get it?
We could have sat here and said, why would you want to run a party like that?
Just kill them. Yeah, back.
He turned it... Look, as Jean...
Oh, well done. You got the Bastion. Who needs a defib? Who needs a defib? Who needs a defib? Who needs a defib? I've got a defib. Right here. Hello.
Clankers. Sorry, I get really mad. Hey guys, let me show you something.
And then turn it around.
Hey, come here, boys. Let me show you something.
Version, the next iteration of it, next week. When you're in politics, you always think, okay, well, there's a way, let's find a way. And the challenge is exhilarating from that side.
Dave, one thing we were talking about the milliarity. Does this benefit the Liberals in any way?
I think it helps Charles Beauregard in several ways because one, it's going to give him some space because during that race, right here, it's going to give him some space.
Funny.
But also it takes away 2 things from the speech. One, while the CQ is fighting and finding their leader, he has an opportunity to establish himself as the one having the economic mandate. Because still, the CAC is going to, with Legault, he's still going to fight for it. So, because in that support, that 10-12% support that the CAC has, there are some disgruntled liberals, right? In the regions, there's some liberals. There's some federalists. And let's remember that about between 25 and 30% of the PQ support is federalist. Poll after poll confirms this. So Charles Beauregard has to be able to take his time and really roll out an ambitious economic agenda tied to affordability. You know, the thing I would do if I were in his war room, you know, Place Saint-Jacques-Amand rolled out and it keeps rolling out month after month after month. You know, this livre bleu, this blue book for the next 10 years of an independent If I were next few weeks with a red book, a livre rouge, like the next 10 years, the next 10 months, and roll out concrete measures to help people with the affordability issues, with healthcare and education today. What do we do to turn things around in Quebec? And I think he has a shot there to do this. Now, the other piece is that, remember François Legault, when he was still fighting to stay in the year-end interviews, and after Pablo Rodriguez resigned, he jumped on it and he was road testing. I'm the only guy that can stop a referendum. That was a division. That was a way to divide and keep the disgruntled liberals and bring some back that they was leaving. So I think Milian now can position himself as, I'm the only guy. If you don't want a referendum, and again, going back to Leger, 60% of Quebecers do not want a referendum. So there's a vote.
Including ones who would vote PQ, but don't want it.
That's it. Well, it's the same people who vote PQ, that voted for Mark Carney. A lot of the kids in the regions voted Carney because they're saying, look guys, this is all okay. The dream's great, and it's a beautiful dream, just not true. Right now, we need the banker. Even if his French isn't good. Yeah. So we might have that kind of vibe because Charles Milliard, just a quick point, Charles Milliard to me has a potential of bringing a bit of a Robert Bourassa type of vibe.
That's what he's compared to. Yeah.
You know, he has a potential. He hasn't demonstrated the intellect or the policy chops. I mean, Robert Bourassa was legendary. Won 4 majority governments. Not a lot of Quebec politicians can say they've won 4 majority governments, twice 2 in a row, and some of the biggest in history actually. But this guy, again, another one that didn't ooze charisma. It wasn't a great orator.
Yeah.
But Quebecers, especially when they, it was funny when you contrast them to René Lévesque, but it shows, the duality of the Quebec ethos, Sometimes you want to go with emotion, passion.
Okay, screw it. I'm calling it. Yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna call it for the night. I was up till 3 in the morning playing this yesterday, so I'm had enough. Almost halfway there with the coins. Feeling pretty good. We'll jump on this later on. Who knows? Maybe a bit tonight. I don't know, but it's getting a bit late for me now, and there's not else much going on. So yeah, cool. Take care.